Welcome back to another special episode of Esports Times, Age of Coronavirus. I'm your host, Chase Gertz, and as you can see behind me, we're back in New York. Now, the city is currently undergoing a Phase 1 COVID-19 grand reopening. So stay tuned as we talk to people within the esports industry as they discuss how they contributed to the community during a time of unprecedented crisis.
You're going to have to change how people do business. You're going to have to change how people interact with one another.
We're in a unique position to be a leader, and we're excited to do that.
I'm teaching a lot of the teachers how to use computers. Their students, fifth grade students, are more advanced in technology than they are.
To the new normal.
Welcome to Esports Times, Age of Coronavirus. We're here with Curtis Strong and Lito Villanueva. Gentlemen, what is your organization all about?
Well, okay, I was born in the Philippines. I immigrated to the United States when I was 5, in 1996, and ever since then, I mean, it was always been learning through the internet, communicating through the internet, and it just so happened while I was going to school through college, economic crisis hit, and I found a great education and some great work while I was in the military. Communications has been my background for a really long time. It's been my forte, my expertise, and my concentration as a network engineer, and I turned and took those skills into things that I like to do best: playing video games, talking to people online on Discord, or solving some really hard problems within the communications infrastructure around the world. So that was really a lot of things that were one that I was really good at, and two, could keep me alive. And I figured, well, there's a lot of problems that I see in the world today, even in just technology alone. Well, how do I push that envelope forward even more? I was like, okay, well, let me try my hand at entrepreneurship. So started a business in my dorm room, basically, when I got back to college back in 2014. That failed horribly. Tried again in 2016. Still wasn't that great. And then we made a pivot, a small pivot last year. So now we have a little bit of traction, we have a lot of support, and now we can actually go out there and help a lot of other industries and a lot of other organizations try to push their message forward.
What are the huge obstacles that are in the way of creating our global interaction?
Traditions, folks are stuck in the old ways, right? I'm a boomer. And sometimes the boomers don't want to stand by and let the millennials and Gen Zs take the front lead. It's always been that way. It's always been done that way. For an example, the work from home policy in DOD. Boomers did not want their workers to work from home because it appeared to be too easy. Anything that's easy is not good, right? We used to have a saying at 82nd Airborne, you don't have to try hard to be miserable. It happened naturally in the U.S. military in 82nd, right? So my point is this, right? These old heads, I call them, I'm a Jurassic Park, I'm a dinosaur, right? They need to move out and let the young folks in, the millennials and Gen Z at the table. So the biggest hurdle is our boomers and some Xers. So Gen Zs and millennials need to lead the way.
The thing that I see, especially when it comes to just our internal code, is three big P's, or three big statements. The first one is always going to be people. The second one is policy, and then the third one is the products. Okay, so the first one being people. You have to find those individuals who believe that what you're doing is the right thing, that they see, maybe they have the world experience already and they see the problems with the world and want to make that change. Or it can come from the youth and they say, look, I'm fed up with the way the things are and I want to make change. How are you going to do that? Well, most of the time you're going to have to change the policies. You're going to have to change how people do business. You're going to have to change how people interact with one another. And unfortunately, it's a time like a pandemic that forces people to have to change their habits. And then the last one is really the products. And that's what we are. I mean, we're a product company. We're a research and development firm. We just churn out innovation after innovation. But really, what do people want? And what do people want that they didn't know they wanted before they saw it? So I know Curtis in the background, we have Happy the Birthday Bird. I mean, that's his own invention, his own products, and his courtesy. Talk about Happy, man.
Well, a little history behind Happy Birthday Bird. I had cancer, and my son kind of nursed me back to health, and we told stories about Happy and this little bird. So, make a long story short, Happy is a bird that was born with a disability, and he's a bully. Like many kids, like Marlon was bullied. He's not your traditional sports player. He played esports, video games. He swam. He do martial arts, and he's very, very smart in school. So he got picked on a lot, right? So he said, he reminds himself of Happy. And Happy was born, he couldn't fly. He had to wear these little sneakers. And he had this balloon named Pop that carried him from point A to point B, a helium balloon. So he's teaching kids that it's okay to be different, right? Matter of fact, it's kind of neat to be different. So what we're doing now, we are being that this COVID-19 thing going on, we're not trying to sell Happy so much because that would be very insensitive to folks who have lost their jobs, people that's dying. We're trying to do pro bono messages and teaching kids how to protect themselves doing COVID-19, having to wash their hands, if you receive birthday gifts, sing the Happy Birthday Bird song, actually wash your hands for 20 seconds. So we just went away from that whole profit thing to caring about our next door neighbor. Matter of fact, we were watching a movie called Meet John Doe the other night, right? If that was not a sign of the times, an appropriate movie, if you guys hadn't seen it, right? Meet John Doe. And John Doe to me is a human version of Happy the Birthday Bird. And Happy is a bird that want to bring happiness to a lot of people of all ages, especially kids from 2 to 8. And Happy wants to bring a whole lot of happiness. Is that right, Mylan?
Yeah.
Did I leave anything out?
No.
Okay. You want to add a few words? Okay. So that's and so to give you a little background, Happy, we were featured in the toy magazines for 2019 and 2020. We were at the Toy Fair. We've been we had a group of industry experts from Disney, Hallmark, American Greeting, Mattel, and about 12 major companies come together to bring Happy to market. And the whole idea is to bring birthday parties to kids based on memories and tradition, not so much toys, because we don't put a lot of pressure on moms, because they already got a lot of pressure on them, right? So we want to bring in tradition and memories. So they have almost like a little a memoir in the book, and they have fun and games, and it's about family. And but we don't see Happy as competing with other toys. We just see he's kind of opposite of the Angry Birds. He's the Happy Bird, and we have a goal to bring work with EA and some of the other organizations to make a Happy Birthday Bird video game.
Hey, Curtis, what is your little business partner over there? What's his favorite game?
Guess Roblox or Pokemon Go.
Speaking of Pokemon Go, I'd like to add a couple things. Sure. With education, and this going to segue into something Lito and I are working on with the Air Force and family support services. Well, as a traditional education, sometimes to me it's kind of hard. It was kind of hard for me growing up. I was a gifted kid, but I was bored to death in class. So I always wanted to know, hey, can I go outside and play? Can I do these things? It seemed like once again, the things that we had fun with were like X'd out. They were wrong. So Mylan goes to Montessori school, and Montessori is more project-based learning. And I asked him, hey, design the best program learning that you can imagine. He wanted to integrate conversation artificial intelligence like Alexa to tell him how to organize his core competencies or his management skills. Then also he wanted to enter into the game like Pokemon, like we say, we're talking about World War II, right? The Battle of D-Day. He want to enter into that game by playing a video game like D-Day, Call of Duty or whatever, but he want Pokemon to be Winston Churchill, Pikachu. And he want the bad Pokemon to be Hitler. And that way he's doing character identification. The next day, the way he entered the game is through VR with the virtual reality glasses with the same subject, history with World War II. The third version, he wanted to do 3D augmented reality where it comes to part of his world. And the fourth piece is Pokemon Go. He want to get out there. He want to run. He want to get on the beaches of Normandy. He want to jump out of airplanes at the 82nd Airborne Division. He want to see all these guys around him on the 3D piece. And the last piece, he want to get the traditional, because he want to take traditional education out. And he wants to bring in the book and read the preface, answer the end of the core questions. And then next week, when the teacher teaches about World War II and D-Day, or whatever subject they're talking about, World War II, he understands it 5 ways. He's been part of it. He in it. Now he got it, right? And plus, he identified with the 2 main characters, the foe and the friendly, based on Pikachu. And what was the enemy? What was the enemy's name? The bad Pokemon. Arbok. So we're working with Lido to work with the military to bring some type of platform like that that can address fun learning, character identification, and project-based learning.
So what do we have whenever we play video games, especially we're talking games like League of Legends or like CS:GO or even Rainbow Six, right? It's not, you can't carry the team on your back 100% of the time, even though you want to. You got to play as a team. You have to play as a team, and you have to collaborate, communicate, and compromise all together.
K-12 education based on the Common Core is based on World War II technology. It doesn't work anymore.
It's outdated, yeah.
And for some reason, and so that's my thing. We'll get India, China, those countries that's better, that's way ahead of us in education. If you look at their core values in education, it's based on project-based learning and teamwork, even down to their writings, calligraphy. If you go back to Egypt, they drew pictures to get the word across, right? When I first started reading in kindergarten, I read pictures. I didn't read writing. You give me an instruction manual this tall, right? I promise you I'm gonna get lost in it. You just give me the damn picture, and I get it. So anyway, that's one of my other things, right? And then then we said we're gonna assess the kids because they have ADD, all these labels based on the DSM-4 and 5, 7, whatever. And the assessments are based on this flawed system that we use in the United States. That's why we're failing our kids. There was a song called Wake Up Everybody. They said, wake up everybody, it's time to teach the kids a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They are the ones that are coming up and the world's in their hand. Teachers, when you teach the kids, teach them the very best you can. Most of the teachers now, and I'm saying, I can't say most, but a lot of them are not technically, right? They're not even in this online training, this virtual training. I'm teaching a lot of the teachers how to use computers.
Right.
Their students, 5th grade students, are more advanced in technology than they are.
You're doing some great work, fellas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great one.
Yeah.
Take care.
We're here with Team Unlimited co-owner Danny, who goes by Snow Leopard. And also on the other end is Rachel McMillan, and she is the CEO of Unlimited.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Hi, we're doing good. How are you?
We last saw each other back at DreamHack Anaheim, and you guys were playing some Halo over there, really getting deep.
That's what Unlimited's about. We're getting deep into Halo and all kinds of games, so we're excited that we were able to attend this DreamHack and put our best foot forward and got second. So we were just really excited about that.
I was just saying it was an awesome experience, and we were lucky to have Danny out there on scene.
Yeah, it was good to meet you guys there. How did it go?
It went well. We, our one team, our European team, was 9th place. And then our American team was 2nd place, and we won $10,000. And we're just super grateful and excited that DreamHack was able to host us, and then we were able to come in strong and fighting.
So how many hours are you guys logging in?
I'd say at least 6 hours a day. What about you, Rachel?
Yeah, I think some of our boys are clocking in, like you said, like 6 to 12 hours a day still.
How do you typically coordinate that?
Well, one thing that we can do is we can help them set up scrim matches before an event. These players, of their own accord and their own free will, run that much time on those games typically as it is so that they can stay as good as they are. Mostly it's a matter of us popping in and seeing how they're doing.
And you have the international team to coordinate with as well as the North American.
Yes, we do. Our international team, I think that they are I think that they are dealing with being hit by the effects of coronavirus a little more than our U.S. team, because several of them had jobs that weren't related to esports as well that were affected. So they're kind of taking time to recoup and bounce back. I've noticed that our North American team actually has been logging more practice hours and been online more often and been streaming more often. So they've kind of gone the opposite direction in that. And obviously, we're understanding of both outcomes, and we're just trying to figure out how we can best support the players during this time.
Absolutely. And we've also provided face masks that you can buy off our store.
Where can they find that link to the masks?
They can find it at our pro shop.
Our website is ll-esports.com, and you can find all of our social media links on there.
How did y'all coordinate with the masks?
We have a really good sponsor, and we wanted to figure out a way that we could help people have access that were having a hard time finding them online. They're not medical grade, but they're microfiber, and they certainly do create a barrier. So you wouldn't wear them if you're operating in a hospital, but you can wear them to help you safely grocery shop and things of that nature.
The PC release of the Master Chief Collection coming out, are you guys going to dip your toes back into some classics like Halo 2 and 3?
Oh, of course. The PC versions I'm not too familiar with, but I definitely would love to get into. There's I missed like this, what was it, a safety bubble? I missed that. I missed the bubble that you could run to in Halo. It's like 2 or 3, and there was all kinds of invisibility and all these fun things that I would definitely love to revisit.
To clarify as well, like, we're definitely taking a more PC route with Halo, or at least tacking that on, because I do think that that's becoming such a huge thing now. I love that they're integrating Halo with PC. I really do think that it will propel it forward in a big way. So we're definitely looking into that. Our players are on PC right now, so you can definitely expect to see us going to any PC Halo events that are announced in the future when all of this passes.
What other elements would you like to see included for Halo Infinite?
Look, this Infinite is pass or fail, I feel, for Halo at the moment when it deals with competitiveness. And I hope they cater to all, which they should have been doing, and to not only the casual player, but the pro player as well. If it not be the game itself, maybe some type of settings that it can have within the game would be wonderful.
Yeah, like maybe an option for Warzone, since that seems to be the style of games are leaning towards, is having different options for different players. I definitely think if Halo wants to see the success we all believe that it can have, it's definitely got to adapt to the new age of gamer.
How far behind do you think that they've been?
Well, one thing that's hurt them is that they haven't been pushing out games as fast as some of these other game franchises, and our hope is that they've been taking their time to perfect the game that they are creating. Another thing I do want to mention about that is it's going to be hard for them because the fan base is so divided on what styles and what different abilities they like in that game. So it's going to be interesting to see if the fan base comes together or if they're divided whenever they launch the game. So we're hopeful it will be a positive all the way around, but that is optimistic considering how partial Halo players can be.
How did you two get into gaming?
We both were really young. It's kind of interesting. Our day jobs, we do the same type of work. We've always bounced off each other, even with all kinds of life ideals and what we wanted to do when we wanted to get into the gaming scene. So we both started young. We grew up with gaming, and then we met each other, 4 years ago online. And then we just on Halo. So we've just been expanding and doing what we do best, is dealing with social media, bringing people together, doing interviews, being somewhere at a certain time, so we just love it. And that's what we're here to do. And that's what we feel we are made to do. And we help people during our day jobs. We work with people with special needs. She deals with children. I deal with adults. And so we help people during the day, and then at night we help gamers. So it kind of is full circle.
Sorry for the shameless plug, but I think gaming doesn't limit people. I think that you can be disabled and be a global champion. You can be 94 years old. You can be 12. I mean, I know we all know that there's a very famous Fortnite player who won millions of dollars, in a competition, and that one comp changed his life. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are or what conditions you might have or what insecurities you might have. Esports doesn't discriminate, and as long as you put the work into it and you really grind it out, anybody can be successful in this industry. So of course that's the industry that I want to be a part of, if it's that open and just that beneficial to everybody involved, that you can go with as far with it as you'd like.
How will Unlimited bounce the industry back after all this? How are we going to get back to at least maybe a new normal?
One thing that we can do is continue to embolden the industry by engaging in online events, focusing on streaming entertainment and getting our streamers to help have their own individual brands and be successful, support the streaming environment and ecosystem, and then of course continue to look for the best players in the world on the games that we're interested in, and to be able to kind of have those conversations and prep things so that when LAN events are, back to business, we're ready to go and hit the ground rolling. But I think it's very important that all gamers and all entities in the gaming industry understand that right now we really do need to be adapting to those digital platforms so that we can continue to keep the industry as a whole healthy and ready to go when things get back to normal.
So what are the advantages and disadvantages for women in esports? Have you noticed some pushback in the industry?
We have heard word that there are people in the gaming community that say women don't belong in esports. But I would have to disagree. I think we belong in all types of esports, whether it be what I do, I'm kind of behind the scenes, or a pro player, or as well as an amateur player. I think we do belong in the esports, and we are meant to be. So it can be equal, and it's more fun that way. Why wouldn't you want it to be equal? I think the advantages, though, is that we're able to almost shine, at least at this point in day and age, we're able to shine a light for the younger females to look up to and some way want to get involved, whether it be editing, gaming. And I think that's an advantage, and that's a unique position that I'm in, and as well as Rachel, is we're in a unique position to be a leader, and we're excited to do that, and that's what we're wanting to do with concerning women in esports.
Were there any recent discouragements that you've had? Anybody making comments?
Me and Danny, actually, we had a caster that was working for us, no longer involved, and for their privacy I would never want to say their name because
Right.
People change, but they did mention on the way out of casting for us that it was hard working with us because they didn't believe that women belonged in esports, and I had a genuine curiosity because I know we're in this business for the long run. I kind of wanted to know like more about that thought. Like, is that truly how you feel, or is that maybe like a joke in passing, or kind of wanting to know like what are we getting ourselves into, because we haven't seen it that straightforward before. And he was like, no, I'm being serious. There's not a lot of women in esports for a reason. And so, and he went on his way, and that was kind of the last interaction that we had. And it's the best to him because it was a learning experience for me that there are going to be people that are going to cut us off or write us off just because we're female owned and we have a lot of female on our staff. And I understand that, but we're definitely here to change that. So
All right.
I see those kind of interactions as learning experiences, and all they really do is embolden us to continue to break down that stigma that esports is an equal opportunity investment for anybody who gets involved.
Thank you so much, Snow Leopard, and thank you so much, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you guys.